All right, today we're gonna be talking about folding electric bikes, and are they up to the task? Are they sturdy enough, durable enough? And here we have my Luna folding bike, and I'm just gonna show you here. If I do this and this, I'm not gonna totally take it apart because I've got some zip ties keeping it in place, but you can just see how if I close this, did you guys hear how hard that was to close? That just tells you that it's really freaking sturdy, these clamps, you know. And then same thing here. This is the handlebars. Move this back, and this enables the handlebars to come down, right? And this thing as well. I mean, it's just so freaking sturdy, you know. Oh, it's even got like an extra little lock to keep it in place, and that's the way most of these bikes are. We're gonna go for a ride, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit more, so stay tuned. All right, we are on my Luna folding bike, and we're talking about folding bikes today. So various things to consider with folding bikes, right? One, are they durable? You know, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I saw that you can get a kayak that folds in half, which is true. How durable is that? Well, those are probably not the best. I can only say, having seen them up close, the cracks where they fold, there's a big integrity issue, right? And it probably takes on water. So that's something to think about when you're talking about like a kayak or something that goes in the water. But with bikes, you're going pretty fast, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, are the handlebars going to collapse? Is the bike going to fold in half on me? Having ridden and owned this Luna folding bike, which is about $1,800, I owned the Aventon Cinch 500 watt, peak 750 watt, hub motor, front suspension, disc brakes, which I consider to be very high quality folding bike, 20-inch, and that was about $1,500. And then I even owned on the low end two more bikes actually. On the low end, I owned the Jetson Bolt. That's that $350 bike from Costco, little black one. And it has like 14-inch wheels, 12-inch wheels. And I even owned the Swagtron EB7 Plus, which was like 16-inch wheels, 250 watt rear hub, even has rear suspension, and it's $700. So we're looking at from $350 all the way up to $1,800. And I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but I would consider, from my research, you know, I know Reese and Muller makes bikes and all this. From my research, for under 2,000 bucks, this Luna folding bike is probably the best folding bike you can get. So anyway, putting that into perspective, I just wanted you to understand like the price range we're talking about here. You can, most of these e-bikes, the capability that enables them to fold in half, right? Most of them fold in half, some of them fold down, some of them only the handlebars fold down, etc. But the clamps that they use to secure the bike when it's in full, you know, erect position, they're really freaking sturdy, I can tell you. Even as far down as the Jetson Bolt. I mean, I rode that thing, I'm 210 pounds. It's this little dinky thing, weighs like 30 pounds. And I felt fine on it, you know. I mean, the handlebars collapsed, etc., and it felt great. It felt sturdy enough, you know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan of that bike, but it was sturdy enough in terms of the bike, you know, the collapsible mechanisms like collapsing. I had no concerns about that whatsoever. One of my favorite bikes of all time, the EB7 Plus from Swagtron, same thing. That has the entire bike folds in half and the handlebars collapse. And I took that thing off road. I'm gonna link to it. Did it. All right, a little aggressive, not too bad. But all right, we're gonna drop down to pedal assist 2, because this is really easy. Even pedal assist 1. Yeah. you know, in all kinds of terrain. And I felt fine, you know. So that's, again, at a $700 range. Then you look at the Aventon Cinch, and again, I'll link to that. I went off-road on that. That's a really beefy bike, really beefy latches that keep it, you know, secured in place when it's erect and open. Handlebars, and the bike folds in half. Handlebars collapse, bike folds in half. And that's like one of the most high quality bikes, I think, in the price range, like, you know, under 2,000. Huge fan of that. So absolutely no concerns whatsoever. And I went in some pretty freaking aggressive terrain, people. I know people like to say I don't really go off-road, I go on fire trails. Well, I went on some trails that had like rocks and divots and tree branches and pine cones, and I'll link to that as well. So I'm taking these folding bikes, and I'm putting them through the paces, and I'm just showing that the latches and the, you know, the securing mechanisms to keep them fully open and upright are pretty freaking strong. And then I showed you at the beginning of this video the Luna folding bike. This bike is $1,800, very high-end components, and the folding mechanisms are really well thought out, really secure, like really secure. You have to use, like, again, I'm 6 foot, 210 pounds. I've got some strength, and I have to use all my strength just to secure the latch, you know, down where the bike breaks in half. Just to put it back in place, I have to go, yeah, you know. So these latches are really freaking strong, and I don't think, having ridden 4 folding bikes, again, from the low end to the high end, I don't think you need to concern yourselves. So I know I did another video. The best folding bike was 750 watt motor, and that was like the Victrix Cuddy, the Iahura Plus, the Rad Power Mini, etc. They're all like really, really good bikes. You know what I heard, having recently reviewed a bunch of Rad Power bikes, I heard that the Rad Power Mini is like the most popular bike in America, you know, and it's a folding bike, you know. And, you know, I don't think it's just for, you know, the people that are going to be like, you know, Sunday riding on that thing. I think people put it through the paces, you know, take it in a little bit of off-road and go all over the place with it. So I don't think, and, you know, people small and large, you know, it doesn't matter, short and tall. So I think getting a folding bike is a great option. Usually the folding bikes are on the lower end as far as cost. But you know, I would definitely consider one. And I've ridden 27 e-bikes now, and 2 of my favorite bikes of all time are folding bikes. And this includes bikes I've ridden that are up to $7,000, like the Cab Motorworks Recon. Actually, it's $10,000. So 2 of my favorite bikes on that list of 27 are this bike, the Luna folding e-bike, and the Aventon Cinch. Huge fans of those bikes, and they're folding bikes. So don't concern yourselves with it being a folding bike. It really doesn't matter, because the latches and the securing mechanisms are really durable, really strong. There's no integrity issues. The bike's not going to fall apart on you. It's not going to collapse when you're riding. The handlebars aren't going to break and fall down. It's not going to happen. These are really strong bikes. So but that said, you know, folding bikes, you know, give you tremendous options, right? I mean, you can fold it up, put it in your trunk, you know. This bike right here, like 35-pound bike, if you take off the battery. With the battery, I argue it's like 45. But anyway, you probably put it in the front seat of your car, you know. It gets really small. And a lot of these bikes get really small. You can very easily put them in the trunk of a car. You can very easily put them in the back seat or even the front seat of the car. And great for walk-ups, you know. If you live in a big city and you have to walk up a flight of stairs, you know, they're on the light end as far as weight. They're compact enough to be able to lift. Some of them are really well thought out, and they actually have like a handle, and you can kind of like pull it much easier. Like, they actually think about the fact that it's going to be folded. Like this bike in particular, when it's folded, it has like a little stand that keeps it upright, you know. So they've really thought about these things. But, you know, taking it up in a big building, you know, taking it in an elevator, literally taking it in a cab or on a subway or a train, not a problem. So the folding mechanisms of these e-bikes just opens up a world of possibilities. And you know, initially I was kind of concerned. Again, for several years now I've been riding kayaks, and when I was first looking at kayaks, one of the cheapest ones I found was this one that like folds or breaks in half intentionally, and it was and it had latches to put it back together. And I'm like, really? I'm gonna be in the middle of a lake, in the middle of the ocean for that matter, and I'm gonna have this thing freaking start leaking? So I mean, that's a different story. But with these bikes, you're in great shape. So don't hesitate. Definitely consider a folding bike. For me, in my opinion, if you're willing to spend $1,500, the best one I've seen in the market, having ridden like 10, having owned 4, and having researched a ton, is the Aventon Cinch. If you're willing to spend a little bit more, 1,800 bucks, get the Luna folding e-bike, no question. Mid-drive, tons of power, very high quality components, very high quality frame from Taiwan. You're just, you know, these are high quality bikes, even though they fold. So anyway, just kind of wanted to share that with y'all. Hope that helps. And that'll do it. God bless, peace out.